Welcome back, everybody. Just Mike here. Today we have another cuckoo clock to work on. This is a Lux clock, just like the one I did in the last video. The only difference I can see at the moment is this one's colored. Let's take a look. So this is the clock I got. Like I say, it's colored, and so to me it's unique. I don't know if that's natural or not. It looks old, so I'm going to say it's natural. I see that the door hinge is starting to come off, and this one has a gray bird instead of a red bird. Anyway, it came with a couple packages, and these packages were in with the weights, and so hopefully it didn't get damaged. It has the same type of weights on it, and I'll weigh them in a minute again, just like I did the last one. It did come with some of the packaging material, telling you to take off the wires off the bellows. Came with this old sack, and this has parts in it. There's a weight to one of the bellows. There's this here belongs to the whistle box. That wire, I'm not sure what that goes to. And then it comes with the screw, which normally holds the crown on and holds the face on. So we got that. We have this, and I'm hoping, it's been a while since I ordered this. Oh, I see it, good. Anyway, I was hoping it still had the horns with this. There we go. Happy to see that. It's all in one piece, even beaten around with the weights. I'm very happy to see this. I see it's a metal pendulum stick on here. One side's nailed and the other side's been screwed in, but just the same, having the leaves and the two acorns is fantastic. And it's kind of fantastic to have the original packaging too. So anyway, let's take a look what's inside. There's the take-off back panel, so this must be on the outside or whatever, of case, and remove this metal bellows guard before starting the clock. Like I say, in so many words, how cool is that? Having an original. How many of you have this if you have this clock? Packing material. Here you can see the side has been popped off. That side's still on there. Let me untangle this chain a little bit, and then we'll see what this clock does. Things have fallen off, I see. So to get it back on, I'm going to turn this upside down and try to catch the sprockets. So we got that one caught. We'll throw that aside. There we go. Runs. Let me turn the hand and see if this cuckoo's. Coming around to the half hour. Sounds got funny. I think this clock, back when I bought it, said it was never used, but I'm sure it was used at least once or for a short while. You gotta remember the side's not on here, so it can't really make the proper noise. So far this thing sounds pretty good. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this bellow out and we're gonna re-glue this back on to the whistle box itself. We're gonna take the movement out so we can oil it, because it doesn't matter if this clock was never used or not. It's built in 1940, I do believe, and so more than likely it needs oil. I will admit it didn't sound bad when I had it doing the cuckoo or whatever. And it starts right up there. So let's get this thing to cuckoo a couple more times. Coming around to the half hour. Coming around to the hour. Not yet. I'm almost there. There we go. Right there. So I think I'm just gonna possibly take this bellow out and fix it. And I'm not certain. I'm gonna have to listen to it a little bit better to see if I really want to oil this. But like I say, for as old as it is, it probably should be oiled. I'm gonna glue that back on. I'm gonna use the super glue, put it around there and hold it in place. So looking at this whistle box, it doesn't have a hole like this one does in this. I tried it here, squeaks, brought the hole down to the bottom. I didn't want to, but that's because maybe I was feeling lazy. Let's take this apart so you can oil both sides. Because I was pondering on maybe just oiling one side of it. And like I say, with the age you have with this clock being 1940, you know what year it is now, I would say it might be due. I'm going to try the oil trick on there and see if it works. It's really tight on there, and I found if you put a drop of oil in there and then let it sit for, let's say, a minute, normally 10 seconds, but a minute, normally it just pops or comes right off. There we go. These are metal hands. I didn't really know for sure if they're supposed to be white or not because I saw the black on the other one and that's all it was, just bare metal that was showing. Here we'll just flip the wire up. Really stiff wire. So I'll go ahead and take this bellow out also. So when I took the screws out of the bellows, these two flat washers came off, and when I took this side off, I saw them in the bottom and I was wondering where'd they come from. Well, I paid attention when I took these off and those were sitting up in there, and so I'm going to guess you push your screws through first, get your washers on, and then go ahead and bring your bellow or your whistle box up to it to screw them on. So this whole gearing and whatnot stayed in the box. I'm not going to fight taking that hand off. It will come off that easy. This here has a friction washer underneath it, which makes this snug. And on the other clock, I found that this here is just a tube of brass or whatever that might have been crimped on there, and there's nothing else holding this pushed down besides that. And the only way I could get that to go back on, because it's so loose, is I had to kind of crimp the one end of it before I put it on, and then I was able to tap that down on there and got it to where it was tight again. So now I got off this far. Now I can go ahead and oil the movement on this side. So as far as I know, I have it all oiled now. When I go to put this back on, I might have to wiggle that gear. Now, on the other one, someone had a washer in through here to hold that in place, but evidently it doesn't need it. I don't see one laying in the bottom when that fell off. And that there's for the hour pipe. The gear's still in there. And there you can see the gray bird better. Let's see here. It's not going to matter. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lift this clock up and set it over the face of the movement. I have both washers on. Obviously I got the movement oiled. Now to screw the whistle box back in. Just line this up with the screws. Got one started and I'm on the other one because I don't want to lose the washer. And I'm snugging them in there. I'm not bolting them down tight because I'm pretty sure this plastic melamine, I do believe, is threaded, and I doubt there's a nut on the other side. And maybe I should have looked when I was in there, but like I say, I doubt it. And you'll notice this here eye hook, or even the wire that lifts the bird, there's heavier plastic pieces in here. And if you had to, you'd drill through to create a new hole. Another one I had to because as hard as I tried, not that I tried that hard, but I messed up and glued this top onto the other one, so I had to move everything around in order for it to fit into the clock. Now, checking these, that there, I don't know if that's a hole or a seed or something sitting right there, but until they break, right now they're doing good. So, and of course, covering the extra air holes. I also wanted to point out, which didn't dawn on me, but the LUX Cuckoo clock does not have a gong. There's no hammer. There's no gong. So the next and last thing I have, see, I don't know what this is for sure. There must have been a place for it, but I don't have, I'm gonna guess don't have full instructions. This here screw is what will screw these horns onto the back of his head. It's snug, don't need it tight. And there we have what I consider an almost brand new clock with the color on it. I have to look this up. Like I say, this is a Lux. So let me go to their site and see what it says there, if it has anything to say. So this is Dan and Diane's site, and they pretty much have every clock that's a Lux in here. And reading about this one, I was calling it wrong. It's called Bakelite, is what the whistle boxes are made out of. And also the little gray cuckoo bird that comes out, it says it's made of metal also. Now this here doesn't say anything about a colored clock like this is. And so there again, whether someone actually painted it, which I almost don't believe that, because the coloring on this looks what I consider factory. And like I say, that's the only one I can find right here that has the head, deer head and the horns. And this is their site, Dan and Diane. Just type in Lux Clocks and you'll find it. So in your opinion, which is nicer? They're both a really nice clock. That one has wax on it, this one does not. And so this was another good find as far as I'm concerned for the shape of the clock and for having those extra parts that you never seen, because this clock here was built in 1940. And how often do people keep the plate that holds the bellows shut? They, according to the ad, which they had no idea, but they said a clock that was never used. You can tell this had some use to it, but they didn't leave it up more than a year, if that. And that was nice of them to keep the extra parts and put them back where they needed to be in order to store the clock, I guess we'll call it, safely. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe because it's free. Anyway, until next time, God bless.